listen to me carefully, because this might be the moment that changes your entire life. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're just undisciplined. Every single thing you hate about your life right now is a reflection of one brutal truth. You've lost control over yourself. You wake up tired, you scroll for hours, you make excuses, and then you wonder why nothing ever changes. Life doesn't care about your feelings, it rewards action. The world respects strength, not complaints. You have power inside you so fierce that if you ever truly unleashed it, people wouldn't recognize you. But you've been silencing it, distracting it, numbing it. Enough of that. Stand up, look at your reflection, and understand this. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody will hand you discipline, confidence, or success. You must build them through pain, through sacrifice, through relentless self-control. Every time you say no to weakness, you earn a piece of your greatness back. Every time you dominate your emotions, you move one step closer to the life you dream of. The real war is not outside, it's within you. Conquer that war, and nothing, absolutely nothing can stop you. Take control of yourself, and the world will follow. Discipline is freedom. It sounds like a paradox at first, a strange contradiction. How can restriction lead to freedom? How can rules create power? But if you truly understand life, you'll realize that discipline isn't a prison, it's the key to breaking free from one. Most people wake up every day shackled by their own habits. They're slaves to impulses, to laziness, to fear, to comfort. They think freedom is doing whatever they want, whenever they want. But that's not freedom. That's chaos. That's weakness disguised as liberty. Real freedom comes when you are in full control of yourself, when your mind obeys you, when your body follows your command. When you don't move because of emotions, you move because of purpose. Discipline is the quiet force that separates the average from the exceptional. It's the invisible weapon that wins wars before they're fought. It's what turns dreams into reality. Without discipline, talent is useless. Motivation fades, confidence dies, but discipline endures. It's not loud, it's not glamorous, it's not fun. It's waking up when you don't want to. It's training when you're tired. It's studying when you'd rather scroll. It's saying no to distractions that promise pleasure but steal your future. Discipline is doing the hard thing, especially when nobody's watching. People who lack discipline live in chains. They just don't see them. They're controlled by urges, by laziness, by comfort zones. They wait for motivation like a miracle, hoping one day something inside them will change. But disciplined people don't wait. They act. They don't rely on feelings. They rely on systems. They've trained their minds to push forward no matter what. That's why disciplined people appear free. They have built a structure that allows them to live on their own terms. When you have discipline, you can achieve anything you decide to. You can shape your body, sharpen your mind, and control your destiny. Think about it. The person who wakes up early, eats clean, trains daily, and works relentlessly doesn't live a restricted life. They live a powerful life. They don't answer to their weaknesses. They dominate them. They have time, energy, and clarity because they've removed chaos. Freedom isn't found in comfort, it's found in control. The more disciplined you are, the more control you gain over every aspect of your life. Your emotions, your actions, your direction. That control gives you the ability to choose your path instead of drifting like everyone else. Discipline gives birth to self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your identity. You begin to believe in your power. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as the creator of your own life. Confidence doesn't come from words, it comes from consistency. Every small act of discipline is a vote for the person you want to become. And when you stack those votes day after day, you transform from the inside out. The body changes, yes, but the mind becomes unbreakable. But here's the truth. Discipline will hurt before it heals. You'll have days when it feels pointless, when progress seems invisible, when your mind screams to quit. That's the test. Discipline is forged in discomfort. The pain you feel while pushing through is the price of your freedom. It's the struggle that makes victory meaningful. Most people give up when it hurts, but those who stay consistent, who keep showing up despite pain, eventually realize that discipline doesn't take away joy, it creates it. Because once you've mastered yourself, the world becomes a playground. You can choose your challenges, chase your purpose, and move without fear. Every great achiever, athletes, warriors, leaders, thinkers understood this truth. They didn't depend on motivation, they built habits. Motivation is temporary, discipline is permanent. Motivation whispers, do it when you feel ready. Discipline commands, do it anyway. And that's the difference between those who wish and those who win. Success is never about luck. It's about consistency. Consistency is built from discipline, and discipline is born from deciding that your future matters more than your comfort right now. Freedom is not lying in bed for hours scrolling through distractions. Freedom is waking up early, training your body, mastering your mind, and knowing that you are in control of your life. It's about living intentionally instead of existing passively. It's about making choices today that your future self will thank you for. Discipline liberates you from regret, from mediocrity, from the haunting feeling of what if, because the person who lives with discipline rarely wonders what could have been. They're too busy becoming everything they dreamed of being. So ask yourself, are you truly free? Or are you enslaved by your own lack of control? Do you command your time, or does it slip through your fingers every day? Discipline isn't punishment, it's self-respect in motion. It's the difference between being controlled by life or controlling it. The moment you decide to build discipline is the moment you begin reclaiming your freedom. The world may tempt you with ease, with comfort, with distractions, but every time you choose discipline, you're declaring that you refuse to be ordinary. Discipline is freedom because it gives you the power to live life on your own terms. It builds strength where there was weakness, clarity where there was confusion, and peace where there was chaos. You will never be truly free until you master yourself, and you will never master yourself without discipline. So start today. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop letting your feelings dictate your future. Train your mind, command your body, control your habits, build your life through discipline, and you'll experience the kind of freedom most people will never know. Control your emotions. Don't let them control you. This is one of the hardest lessons in life, yet one of the most powerful truths you can ever master. Most people live as prisoners of their emotions. They let anger make their decisions, fear stop their progress, sadness steal their energy, and excitement cloud their judgment. They ride an emotional roller coaster every day, wondering why their life feels so unstable, why success feels out of reach, and why peace never lasts. The answer is simple. You cannot win in life if your emotions rule over you. You must be the master of your mind, not its slave. Emotions are powerful tools, but dangerous masters. They exist for a reason, to alert you, to guide you, to remind you that you are alive, but they are not meant to dictate your every action. When you let emotions take control, logic disappears, discipline fades, and clarity dies. Think about the last time you made a choice out of anger or fear. Did it help you? Or did it leave regret in its wake? Emotions are temporary, but the consequences of emotional decisions can last forever. That's why the strongest people in the world are not those who never feel. They're the ones who feel deeply but act with control. Control doesn't mean suppression. It means awareness. It means recognizing the emotion, understanding its purpose, and then deciding how to respond. Most people react instantly because they confuse emotion with command. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to act on it. When you train yourself to pause, to breathe, to step back, you take back power. You begin to realize that emotions are signals, not orders. Anger can tell you something needs to change, but it shouldn't decide how you change it. Fear can warn you of danger, but it shouldn't stop you from growing. Sadness can teach you empathy, but it shouldn't trap you in self-pity. The key is not to kill your emotions, but to guide them. Emotional control is the foundation of mental strength. It's the difference between falling apart and standing tall under pressure. The world will test you. People will betray you. Life will hit you with moments of pain, loss, and injustice. You can't control what happens, but you can always control how you respond. When life pushes you, emotional weakness leads to chaos. You panic, overreact, and self-destruct. But when you control your emotions, you stay calm, clear, and calculated. You respond with logic instead of rage, with patience instead of panic. That control gives you power. Because while everyone else is losing themselves, you're still thinking, still moving, still winning. Emotionally weak people are easy to manipulate. The world knows it. Marketing knows it. Social media knows it. Politicians know it. When you're ruled by emotion, you're predictable. And predictable people are easy to control. That's why mastering your emotions isn't just about peace, it's about power. When you can stay calm in chaos, you become untouchable. People can try to provoke you, but you won't react. They can insult you, lie about you, try to break you, but you won't crumble. You'll smile, think clearly, and move strategically. That's real strength, the kind that doesn't need to shout, doesn't need to prove, doesn't need to explode. To control your emotions, you must first understand them. You must become a student of your own mind. Ask yourself, what triggers me? What makes me lose focus? What situations cause me to act out of impulse? Once you identify these patterns, you can start to dismantle them. Awareness creates distance, and distance creates control. It's not about pretending you're cold or heartless. It's about managing your energy wisely. You have to decide which emotions deserve your time and which ones are stealing it. Emotional control also requires discipline in your environment. The people you surround yourself with, the content you consume, the routines you live by, all of these affect your emotional state. If you spend your time around negativity, drama, and chaos, your emotions will reflect it. But if you choose peace, focus, and purpose, your emotions will strengthen instead of sabotage you. Your environment is not just where you live, it's what you feed your mind. Protect it fiercely. Remember, emotions are not enemies, they're teachers. Anger shows you what you care about. Fear shows you what you must overcome. Sadness shows you where healing is needed. But once the message is delivered, you must take control. If you keep letting emotions drive your behavior, you'll forever be chasing peace instead of living it. The moment you decide that your emotions serve you, not rule you, is the moment you step into real maturity. Imagine walking into any situation, stress, conflict, disappointment, and remaining calm, collected, unshaken. Imagine being unbothered by insults, unmoved by fear, unstoppable by failure. That is not fantasy, that is emotional control. It gives you clarity under pressure, peace under pain, and power under chaos. The world will look at you differently when they realize they can't manipulate your feelings. You'll command respect without demanding it, because people respect those who master themselves. In the end, controlling your emotions is about owning your life. It's about refusing to be a victim of circumstance or mood. The greatest victories come to those who can keep their composure when everything around them is falling apart. That calm, that control, that discipline, it's what separates warriors from wanderers. Anyone can feel angry, afraid, or hurt. But few can feel those things and still move with purpose. That's who you must become. Control your emotions. Don't let them control you. Because the one who controls his emotions controls his destiny. The one who can stay calm in the storm can steer any ship, fight any battle, win any war. You don't need to suppress your heart. You just need to train your mind to lead it. And once you do, no situation, no person, no setback will ever have power over you again. That's true strength. That's true freedom. Pain builds strength. Embrace it. Every person on this planet wants strength, success, power, and confidence, but few are willing to face the pain required to earn them. Everyone wants the reward, but no one wants the struggle. Yet the truth remains, pain is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. It's the fire that forges warriors, the storm that shapes greatness, the silent test that separates those who only dream from those who do. Pain is not here to break you, it's here to build you. The problem is that most people run from it. They avoid discomfort like a plague, choosing the illusion of comfort over the growth that discomfort brings. But comfort breeds weakness, and weakness breeds regret. If you avoid pain, you avoid progress. Pain is the price of transformation. Every success story begins with struggle. Every champion has scars. Every strong mind was once fragile and afraid. The difference is that they didn't give up when it hurt. They leaned into it. They understood that pain is part of the process, not a punishment. When your muscles burn in the gym, they're not breaking. They're growing. When life hits you hard, it's not ending, it's reshaping. Growth never comes from what's easy. It comes from pushing through the moments you think you can't go any further and doing it anyway. The reason most people never become strong is that they treat pain as a signal to stop. They think it hurts, so it must be wrong. But pain is not a stop sign, it's a green light. It's your body and mind adapting to become stronger. Every time you face adversity and keep moving, you're training your spirit. You're teaching yourself resilience. The more you endure, the more powerful you become. Pain is the gym of the soul. It builds emotional and mental muscle. The world breaks weak men easily, but it cannot break the one who has learned to turn pain into power. When you face hardship, failure, rejection, loss, betrayal, it's easy to fall into self-pity, but that mindset only deepens the wound. Instead, ask, what is this pain trying to teach me? Every struggle carries a lesson. Failure teaches humility and strategy. Heartbreak teaches depth and empathy. Loss teaches gratitude and perspective. When you embrace these lessons instead of resisting them, you evolve. If you stop seeing pain as destruction and start seeing it as construction, the very moments that feel unbearable are often the ones that prepare you for your next level. Look at history. Every great man or woman you admire went through unimaginable struggle. They were doubted, criticized, broken down, and still they rose. Why? Because they didn't run from pain, they harnessed it. They took their suffering and turned it into fuel. Pain gives you two choices: to surrender or to fight back stronger. Most people surrender. But those who embrace pain, who see it as a test of character, rise above everyone else. Strength is not built in comfort. It's forged in suffering, discipline, and relentless endurance. Pain also exposes truth. It shows you who you really are when everything is stripped away. When life is easy, anyone can smile and stay calm. But when everything collapses, when you're exhausted and broken, how do you respond? That's when your true self appears. Pain strips away the mask. It forces you to confront your weakness, your fear, your limits. And that's where growth begins. You cannot strengthen what you refuse to face. You can't evolve while hiding from pain. You must meet it head on, look it in the eye, and say, "You will not destroy me, you will shape me." Embracing pain doesn't mean enjoying suffering. It means respecting it, understanding its purpose, and using it to your advantage. Every rep in the gym, every sleepless night chasing your dream, every moment of rejection and failure, it all adds up. Every ounce of pain you endure is an investment in the person you're becoming. The stronger your tolerance for discomfort, the greater your capacity for success. Pain trains you for life's battles. It hardens your mind, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your will. The truth is, the pain will never go away. Life will always find new ways to test you, but once you learn to embrace it, it stops scaring you. You realize that pain cannot break you without your permission. You faced storms before and survived, and that memory gives you confidence for the next one. Every scar becomes a reminder of your resilience. Every hardship becomes proof that you are unbreakable. That's what strength really is, not the absence of pain, but the ability to stand tall in its presence. You can either use pain as an excuse or as energy. You can let it crush you or let it carve you into something extraordinary. The choice is always yours. The weak seek comfort and stay the same. The strong seek challenge and evolve. When you feel pain, don't run, lean in. Don't ask for it to stop. Ask to grow through it. Because when the pain fades, the strength remains. So stop fearing pain. Stop hiding from it. Stop treating it like it's a curse. It's the universe's way of preparing you for greatness. Every test, every heartbreak, every moment of struggle is building you into the person you're meant to be. Pain is the proof that you're pushing your limits, stepping out of the ordinary, and chasing something real. Pain builds strength. Embrace it. Don't wish for an easy life. Wish for the strength to conquer a hard one. Because when you embrace pain, you unlock the kind of power that nothing can take from you. You become someone who cannot be broken, someone who has earned their peace, their pride, and their purpose. Remember this: diamonds are made under pressure, steel is forged in fire, and greatness is built through pain. Embrace it, endure it, and let it make you unstoppable. Excuses destroy progress. They are the silent killers of dreams, the invisible chains that hold people back from everything they could become. Every excuse you make may feel harmless in the moment. It might even sound logical, but over time, it eats away at your potential, your confidence, and your future. Excuses are lies you tell yourself to avoid responsibility, to protect your comfort zone, to justify inaction. They are the stories you create to make failure acceptable. But nothing about excuses is harmless. They are poison disguised as peace. You can't grow while making excuses, because every excuse is a declaration that you've chosen to stop moving forward. People don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they convince themselves why it's okay not to try harder. I'm tired. I don't have time. It's not the right moment. I wasn't born lucky. They had more support. These words are all excuses. Walls built around your potential to keep you safe from discomfort. But comfort kills ambition. Excuses are comfort in disguise, offering you short-term relief while stealing long-term success. The moment you choose an excuse, you've already lost the fight. Because the excuses don't protect you, they imprison you. Every successful person you admire once faced the same problems. No money, no time, no support, no experience. The difference is, they didn't use those problems as excuses. They used them as fuel. They didn't say, "I can't." They said, "How can I?" They didn't let obstacles define them. They used obstacles to sharpen their strength. Excuses make you believe that your circumstances control your destiny, but they don't. Your choices do. The day you stop making excuses is the day you take control of your life. Excuses are born from fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. You tell yourself stories to protect your ego. It's easier to say, "I couldn't," than to admit, "I didn't." Excuses let you sleep peacefully in the moment, but they haunt you later in life. There's no greater pain than looking back and realizing that the only thing that stood between you and your dreams was your own justification for inaction. Regret is built on excuses. The people who achieve greatness aren't necessarily the smartest or the strongest. They're the ones who took responsibility for everything, even when it wasn't their fault. They refused to blame, refused to wait, refused to hide. They understood that the price of excuses is far greater than the pain of effort. Excuses also destroy your credibility. When you keep making them, you lose trust in yourself. You start believing your own lies. You promise you'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. You tell yourself you'll change when you feel ready, but readiness never arrives. You begin to doubt your own word, and that's the beginning of personal decay. Confidence doesn't come from motivational speeches or luck. It comes from doing what you said you would do even when it's hard. Every time you keep your word, you strengthen your spirit. Every time you break it with an excuse, you weaken it. Discipline builds character, but excuses destroy it. Excuses also breed mediocrity. They make you believe that an average life is acceptable. You settle for good enough because your excuses make you comfortable with less. But deep inside, you know you're meant for more. You know you have untapped potential, bigger dreams, and higher standards. But every excuse you make buries them deeper. Life doesn't reward those who justify failure. It rewards those who take responsibility and push forward no matter the circumstance. If you want to rise, you must stop explaining why you're not already there. The world doesn't care about your reasons. It only sees your results. One of the most dangerous things about excuses is that they sound reasonable. They often make sense. That's why they're powerful. You can convince yourself that waiting for the perfect time is smart. You can rationalize your laziness as rest. You can call your fear patience. Excuses are clever. They disguise themselves as logic. But deep down, you know when you're lying to yourself. You feel it. You feel the guilt, the frustration, the quiet voice whispering that you're capable of more. That voice is your conscience fighting your excuses. Listen to it. Silence the part of your mind that protects your comfort and amplify the one that demands growth. If you want to eliminate excuses, start by taking extreme ownership. Stop blaming people, situations, or luck. You are responsible for everything in your life. Your success, your failure, your growth, your stagnation. When you accept full accountability, you gain full power, because if you caused it, you can change it. The moment you stop saying, I can't, and start saying, I will, your entire life begins to shift. Excuses make you powerless. Responsibility makes you unstoppable. Progress demands sacrifice. You can't have success and excuses at the same time. You have to choose. Every day, you're faced with two options: make progress or make an excuse. And every day, your decision shapes your future. The more you choose progress, the more momentum you build. The more you choose excuses, the deeper you sink into mediocrity. Success doesn't care about how you feel. It only cares about what you do. You can't think your way into greatness. You have to act your way. Excuses destroy progress because they destroy consistency. They interrupt the grind. They stop momentum. They make you start over again and again until you give up completely. The people who win are not the ones who never fall. They're the ones who never justify staying down. Every time you feel tempted to make an excuse, remember that progress doesn't come from perfection. It comes from persistence. You don't need to be the best. You just need to keep moving forward without excuses holding you back. So stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop blaming others. Stop hiding behind reasons that sound noble but keep you stuck. You owe it to yourself to live without excuses. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe yourself effort, honesty, and discipline. The road to success is not blocked by obstacles, it's blocked by excuses. Remove them and you'll realize that progress was always possible. You were just too afraid to face it. Excuses destroy progress, but the moment you destroy your excuses, you'll unleash a power within you that nothing can stop. Focus is your greatest weapon. In a world overflowing with noise, distraction, and endless temptation, the ability to lock in on one goal, one mission, one purpose has become the rarest and most powerful skill of all. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they scatter their attention across too many things. They chase everything and catch nothing. They start projects but never finish them. They dream big but never stay consistent long enough to see results. Focus is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the lost from the driven, and the average from the unstoppable. Without focus, even the strongest mind becomes weak. With it, even ordinary people achieve extraordinary results. Every day, the world fights for your attention. Notifications, messages, advertisements, opinions, trends, it all screams for your energy. And the truth is, most people surrender. They let their mind become a battlefield of distraction, jumping from one thing to another, never giving anything their full power. But success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing what matters with absolute focus. When you focus, your thoughts align, your energy intensifies, and your actions become purposeful. You stop wasting time and start creating momentum. Focus is the blade that cuts through chaos. Distraction is the enemy of greatness. It's not just about losing minutes. It's about losing momentum, confidence, and direction. Every time you let your focus break, you have to start over. Every time you switch tasks, you lose clarity. And every time you give in to distraction, you're teaching your brain to be weaker, lazier, and more reactive. Focus, on the other hand, builds strength. It's a muscle. You train it by saying no. No to noise, no to comfort, no to the constant urge for stimulation. The more you protect your focus, the sharper it becomes. People often underestimate how powerful pure focus can be. 1 hour of deep, undistracted work can be worth 10 hours of scattered effort. When you concentrate completely, time slows down. Ideas become clearer. Your productivity skyrockets. You start seeing connections, solutions, and possibilities that distracted minds never notice. Focus transforms average effort into excellence. It's not about working harder. It's about working with precision. A laser cuts through steel because its energy is concentrated in one point. That's the power of focus. But focus isn't just about work. It's about life. It's about knowing what truly matters and cutting away everything that doesn't. Most people fail because they try to do everything at once. They chase multiple goals, jump between passions, and end up exhausted with nothing to show for it. Focus forces you to prioritize. It demands clarity. It makes you ask yourself, what do I really want? Once you find that answer, you must give it everything you have. Because when your focus is scattered, your energy is wasted. But when your focus is targeted, your potential is unleashed. Focus also builds discipline. It requires patience, endurance, and the ability to delay gratification. It's easy to get distracted, easy to chase quick pleasures, easy to lose yourself in comfort. But those things weaken your focus. And when your focus weakens, so does your future. Greatness doesn't come from occasional effort. It comes from relentless consistency. The person who can stay locked in day after day, no matter how they feel, will always surpass the one who works hard only when it's convenient. Focus doesn't depend on emotion. It's driven by purpose. You must learn to protect your focus like it's sacred, because it is. Your focus is your time, your energy, your life force. Where your focus goes, your reality grows. If you focus on problems, you'll attract more problems. If you focus on possibilities, you'll find opportunities. If you focus on excuses, you'll stay stuck. Focus determines your destiny because it determines your direction. Whatever you constantly think about becomes the path your life follows. And that's why you must be ruthless about what deserves your attention and what doesn't. The greatest warriors, leaders, and creators throughout history all shared one trait. They knew how to focus. They understood that mastery requires obsession. They sacrificed distractions, endured loneliness, and ignored the noise to pursue something greater. While the world was entertained, they were working. While others complained, they stayed committed. That's what focus gives you, the ability to tune out the nonsense and tune in to your mission. The world will try to pull you away with comfort, pleasure, and meaningless entertainment, but you must stay disciplined enough to say, no, I have work to do. Focus is also freedom. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want, but real freedom is having control over your attention. When you can direct your focus wherever you choose, you're no longer a slave to distractions, emotions, or other people's expectations. You own your mind. You decide what deserves your energy. You stop reacting to everything and start creating intentionally. That's how you take back your life from the endless noise trying to control it. But remember, focus takes practice. You'll fail at it many times. You'll get distracted, lose momentum, fall off track. It's okay. What matters is coming back every single time. Each time you refocus, you're strengthening your willpower. Focus isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It is about catching yourself when your mind wanders and bringing it back to your mission. The world doesn't need perfection. It needs perseverance. When you master focus, you master time, you master energy, you master results. You start accomplishing in months what takes others years. You stop chasing everything and start attracting success. Focus is the secret weapon that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. It doesn't come easy, but nothing worth having ever does. So, eliminate distractions, set clear goals, train your mind to stay locked in, protect your focus from anything that wastes it. Negative people, pointless entertainment, unnecessary drama. Be intentional about where your attention goes, because that's where your life will go too. Focus is your greatest weapon because it gives you power in a world that's losing it. The one who can focus while everyone else is distracted will always rise above. Remember this, discipline starts with focus and success is built on discipline. If you can master your focus, you can master your future. Self-respect comes from action, not words. You can talk about confidence, discipline, and self-love all day long, but until you start backing those words with consistent effort, they mean nothing. Real self-respect isn't something that you can fake. You can't convince yourself that you're strong if your habits prove otherwise. You can't say you believe in yourself when your daily actions scream the opposite. Self-respect is not built through affirmations or social media quotes. It's built through the quiet, unseen moments when you choose discipline over laziness, effort over excuses, and integrity over comfort. It's earned one decision at a time. Most people say they want to love themselves, but they're unwilling to do the things that create that love. You can't feel proud if you keep breaking promises to yourself. You can't respect yourself when you keep choosing comfort over commitment. Every time you say you'll start tomorrow but don't, you chip away at your own confidence. Every time you settle for less than your best, you silently teach yourself that your words don't matter. And that's where self-doubt is born, not from failure, but from inconsistency. Words can inspire you for a moment, but action transforms you permanently. But think about it. When do you feel the most confident? It's not after talking about what you'll do, it's after you've done it. When you wake up early, push through a hard workout, complete a goal, or conquer a fear, that's when true confidence appears. You don't need to tell yourself you're strong. You feel it because your actions have proven it. That's what self-respect really is. The trust you build with yourself through consistent action. It's the knowledge that when you say you'll do something, you'll follow through, no matter what. The reason so many people struggle with self-respect is because they live in contradiction. They talk big, but act small. They want results, but avoid effort. They say they'll change, but continue old habits. Every unkept promise erodes self-trust. And without self-trust, there can be no self-respect. You start to feel lost, disappointed, even angry with yourself, because deep down, you know you're capable of more. The only cure is action. Every time you take action aligned with your values, you repair that broken trust. You prove to yourself that you are reliable, strong, and capable of change. Self-respect grows in the dark. It's not built when people are watching. It's built in private, in the lonely hours when it's just you versus your excuses. When no one's there to applaud or motivate you, but you show up anyway. That's when your self-worth expands. You can't buy self-respect. You can't fake it with confidence poses or positive talk. It's earned through repetition, discipline, and accountability. The person who consistently does what needs to be done, even when it's hard, begins to walk differently, speak differently, and think differently. That's the power of action. It changes how you see yourself. Words are easy. Anyone can talk about being motivated, driven, or confident. But talk fades when reality hits. Life tests you constantly. It doesn't care about what you said. It cares about what you do. You can't say you respect yourself while you tolerate toxic habits, weak decisions, or broken commitments. Respect comes from alignment. When your actions reflect your values, if you say you want success but waste time, you lose respect for yourself. If you say you want health but constantly indulge in things that destroy it, you lose respect for yourself. And the more you betray your own standards, the harder it becomes to believe in yourself again. The path to rebuilding self-respect is simple but not easy. Start by keeping small promises. Wake up when you said you would. Follow your plan. Do what you said you'd do, even when nobody's forcing you. Every time you follow through, you cast a vote for the person you want to be. Those small victories stack up, and over time, they transform how you see yourself. You start to feel proud, not because of what you say, but because of what you do. Pride from action is permanent. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need applause. It's self-sustaining. People often confuse arrogance with self-respect, but arrogance is loud. Self-respect is silent. Arrogance talks about what it will do. Self-respect just does it. Arrogance needs recognition. Self-respect doesn't care who's watching. When you act with integrity, you don't need to announce it. Your presence speaks for itself. People can sense when someone moves with discipline, with control, with purpose. That kind of respect radiates from within. It can't be faked or bought. Self-respect also means holding yourself accountable. It means calling yourself out when you've been lazy, distracted, or dishonest. It's not about beating yourself up. It's about refusing to accept less than your best. Accountability is a form of self-love because it pushes you to grow. Weak people avoid it. Strong people embrace it because they know growth requires honesty. You can't respect someone who lies to you, and the same is true for yourself. If you keep lying to yourself about your effort, your habits, or your priorities, you'll never truly respect who you are. Action is the only path to redemption. If you've lost respect for yourself, don't drown in guilt. Move. Start taking action that reflects the person you want to become. Build momentum. Keep promises. Push through resistance. You don't need to feel confident to take action. Action creates confidence. You don't need to love yourself to start improving. Improvement builds self-love. Every step you take toward discipline is a step toward self-respect. In the end, self-respect is a mirror. You can't fake the reflection. You either live in a way that earns your own respect, or you don't. Your daily choices write the truth of who you are. You can say all the right things, but until your actions match your words, you'll always feel a gap between who you are and who you want to be. That gap closes only through action. So stop talking about what you'll do. Stop announcing your goals, your plans, your dreams. Start proving them. Let your actions speak so loudly that you no longer need to convince anyone, including yourself, of your worth. Self-respect comes from showing up. from fighting through resistance, from doing what's right even when it's not easy. Because when you act with consistency, integrity, and discipline, you earn something no one can take away: unshakable respect for the person you've become. Master yourself and you'll master life. Every battle you face in this world, every challenge, every failure, every obstacle begins and ends within you. The external world is not your real enemy. Your own undisciplined mind is. The person who cannot control their thoughts, emotions, habits, and desires will always be a slave, no matter how much money or power they gain. But the one who learns to control themselves, to master their impulses, focus their mind, and act with intention becomes unstoppable. When you master yourself, you don't just survive the world, you bend it to your will. Most people never realize that life is not about controlling others, it's about controlling yourself. You can't control what people do, what they say, or how they treat you. You can't control what life throws at you, but you can always control how you respond. You can control your reactions, your mindset, your choices, and that is where true power lies. The world can take away everything from you: money, relationships, comfort, but it can never take your self-mastery unless you give it up. The person who rules over themselves fears nothing because they know they can handle anything. Self-mastery begins with awareness. You must first see yourself clearly before you can shape yourself. Most people live on autopilot. They react instead of thinking. They follow emotion instead of logic. They seek comfort instead of purpose. They don't know why they do what they do. They're controlled by habits and impulses they never chose. To master yourself, you must step back and observe your thoughts. Why do you get angry? Why do you procrastinate? Why do you fear failure? Until you understand your own mind, you'll forever be controlled by it. Awareness is the foundation of mastery, because you can't change what you refuse to face. Once you're aware, the next step is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Without it, mastery is impossible. You can read every book, listen to every motivational speech, plan every detail, but if you lack discipline, it all falls apart. Discipline means doing what you must, not what you feel like. It means showing up every day, even when you're tired, frustrated, or uninspired. It means saying no to distractions, temptations, and laziness. Every time you control a small impulse, you strengthen your inner command. That's how you build power, not by conquering others, but by conquering yourself. Emotional control is another pillar of self-mastery. The person who can't control their emotions will always be at the mercy of others. They'll say things they regret, make impulsive decisions, and lose opportunities because of temporary feelings. To master yourself, you must learn to be calm in chaos. Feel emotion deeply, but don't let it dictate your action. Anger, fear, sadness, excitement, they're all natural, but they must serve you, not rule you. When you control your emotions, you become unshakable. You stop reacting and start responding. That's when you gain real freedom, the freedom to act with clarity even under pressure. Self-mastery also means controlling your desires. The modern world is built to enslave you through temptation: food, entertainment, comfort, social validation. Everywhere you look, something is trying to pull your attention away from your purpose. Most people give in. They trade progress for pleasure. But if you want to master life, you must learn the art of restraint. You must be able to delay gratification, to say no to instant pleasure for the sake of long-term greatness. Power comes from self-control, not indulgence. The more you can resist what weakens you, the more unstoppable you become. To master yourself, you must also learn patience. Success, peace, and wisdom don't come overnight. They come through time, through repetition, through staying consistent even when results are invisible. Most people quit too early because they expect mastery to be fast, but mastery is slow. It's built day by day through quiet discipline, through long stretches of unseen effort. Patience allows you to endure the grind without losing faith. It gives you peace in the process. When you learn to wait without frustration, you've already mastered one of life's greatest skills. Another key to self-mastery is purpose. You cannot control yourself if you don't know why you're doing it. Purpose gives direction to your energy. It keeps you focused when distractions call. It makes sacrifice meaningful. Without purpose, discipline feels like suffering. With purpose, it feels like power. When you have a clear mission, every challenge becomes fuel. The person with purpose doesn't need motivation. They have vision. They wake up each day knowing what must be done, and that clarity strengthens their control. Purpose is the compass that guides mastery. Self-mastery is not perfection, it's progress. It's not about never falling, it's about getting up every time you do. It's understanding that control doesn't mean suppression, it means alignment. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions move together toward your highest self. The goal is not to eliminate weakness, but to rule over it. You will always have impulses, fears, and doubts. But when you master yourself, those things no longer drive your life. You become the one steering, not the one being dragged. When you master yourself, you become immune to chaos. You stop being tossed around by circumstances. You stop blaming people, luck, or timing. You understand that your power doesn't depend on anything outside of you, it's within you. That's when life becomes yours to command. You make better decisions, you attract better opportunities, you walk through life with quiet confidence because you know that no matter what happens, you have control over the only thing that truly matters, yourself. Most people spend their lives trying to master the world, money, fame, status, but they never realize the greatest conquest is internal. Master yourself, and you'll master everything else naturally. Because when your mind is clear, your emotions are stable, and your habits are disciplined, success becomes inevitable. You won't need to chase it. It will follow you. So stop trying to control others. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Turn inward. Train your mind, your body, your spirit. Learn to command your thoughts, discipline your actions, and rule your emotions. Life will always test you, but when you have mastered yourself, no storm can shake you. That's the ultimate freedom, the ability to remain strong, calm, and focused no matter what life brings. Master yourself, and you'll not only master life, you'll create it on your own terms. In the end, everything you're searching for, peace, power, success, respect, comes down to one thing: mastery of self. You can't control the world, but you can control your response to it. You can't decide what storms come your way, but you can decide how you stand through them. Mastery doesn't mean perfection, it means command. It means that when fear rises, you act with courage. When anger burns, you move with calm. When doubt whispers, you continue with faith. Life will always challenge you, but once you've mastered yourself, those challenges no longer define you, they refine you. You stop being a victim of emotion, circumstance, and distraction, and instead become the architect of your destiny. True strength isn't about domination, it's about discipline. True confidence isn't about words, it's about action. When you learn to lead yourself, the world falls. So make that commitment. Control your mind, direct your focus, and protect your energy. Don't wait for the world to change yourself, and the world will shift in your favor. Master yourself, and you'll realize the truth that only the few ever discover. When you command your inner world, you can conquer any outer one.